So good evening. Thank you so much for joining in 7 o'clock live. I need to ask you a question before I start the topic. My question today is right now, and you can type in the chat. Has there been a situation in your life wherein you felt confused, stuck, and was not able to take an action because of overthinking or overanalyzing? Have you been through the situation like that? Maybe it could be if you're working in a job, maybe you have 2 job offers and you are confused on what job you should take, job A or job B, or maybe maybe you're trying to start a business, or maybe in a personal life you were trying to maybe buy a house or expensive car, or maybe plan a vacation. Have you faced a time when you have got confused and puzzled and stuck somewhere just because you're overanalyzing everything? Like, I remember a friend of mine was talking about buying an expensive car, and he was totally confused because he looked at so many cars, so many models of vehicles. Nowadays, we have so many choices and we're spoiled for choices, and end of the day he just couldn't decide. And I think it happens with ladies as well. We go to the stores, we want to buy one dress, but we're totally confused. We look at hundreds of varieties of dress, and then end of the day we just can't make up our mind, right? So ladies and gentlemen, that confusion or reason why you get stuck, that's phenomena or that symptom is called analysis paralysis. Analysis paralysis. I don't know how many. Has anybody heard this term before? Analysis paralysis. I had made a short video before on this, but I wanted to address this particular issue in much more detail, because this is something which can really stop you from being who you are, stop you from becoming your true potential. So analysis paralysis is a situation in which an individual is unable to move forward due to your overthinking or overanalyzing a data. Very common situation, right? Now, I want to help you guys today to get over this situation. For some of you, most of you know me here, but those who don't know me would be hearing later. My name is Selden Tenzing. I'm an entrepreneur in the field of travel, tourism marketing to be specific, but I'm also a passionate life coach. My mission in life is to help people like you break your mental barriers and help and go forward and take that action. Get clarity in life, get clarity in your goals, and move forward to get that goals in your life. Awesome. Please do check out my new website as well. It's seldentenzing.com, my first name and my second name. FYI, I also offer free discovery session to anyone as a service to you. And if you would like to avail that, reach out to me and we can talk about it. Awesome. So analysis paralysis is a phenomena that triggers a lot of hindrance to success. Okay. Now, before I give you all the strategies of how you can overcome it, I would like you to explain why it happens in the first place. So analysis paralysis is a symptom. What are the root causes? What triggers it? Okay, you've got to understand this first. So one of the first things that I wanted to talk about is the first reason why this can happen is because there is a concept called a maximizer mindset. Has it happened to you that you have 2 options, but sometimes you're hoping that there will be a third better option that comes to you, and you want to choose that option, and you're waiting that it comes or doesn't come, right? So such people who have that maximizer mindset cannot find difficulty to go with the current solution, and they tend to wait for a better alternative. This mindset actually makes that person think that they will get a better alternative, and if they go with the current solution, maybe they will miss out on something better. This happens a lot. For example, let's say you have a job in your hand. Let's say you're looking for a job offer in hand, right? But is there a possibility that happens that if you relate to this, type yes. For example, if you have a job offer in hand and you have another job offer in the background that you're still waiting to hear from, and you have one in hand, but you're waiting to hear from the other person, hoping that job offer could be better than the first one. And then unfortunately what happened is when the second job offer came back to you, they said, they gave you an offer which was worse than the job offer one. And while you were deciding and contemplating on that, you tend to lose the job offer one. Right? So that could be a classic case of analysis paralysis again. Manish is saying, always when make critical decisions for me. I know you, dude. I know you well. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Manish. So this is what happens. And this happens, when you tend to do this, what happens is you also get disconnected with the reality. This is interesting. Studies have actually shown, and I made this point, that there is a negative correlation. There is a negative correlation between the maximizing mindset and happiness. You might tend to think kuch acha jayega, something nice would come to you, right? And you're trying to maximize that opportunity. But very high chances that your happiness level goes down. The second reason is you might be overthinking or overanalyzing in order to safeguard yourself against failure. There's some kind of fear of failure or fear of losing something. You're scared that you might make a wrong choice, and then that choice might not be able to be, might not be able to turn around. So you're afraid that, what if I make a mistake? You might be afraid that what the other person might think, what the other, what other person might say. Well, I used to be way before in that space. So what also happens is that because you are now afraid of losing and afraid of failing, you want to make things perfect. You want to make things absolutely great, that the moment you launch it or you show it to people will be like, wow, what a great job you've done, right? So you tend to slide into perfection. And because of that attitude, you can slip into analysis paralysis, wherein you tend to not take any action at all, just because you want to make it so perfect, and you get stuck there and you don't take any action. The third reason that can come in is overload of choices. Today we live in an era where there's so much of information, there's so much of choices around us, and this is how our brain works. The more data that is available, the harder for it's harder for the brain to process it effectively. And brain has its own threshold. The moment it crosses the threshold, it can paralyze you. So overanalysis of data can paralyze you here. I see. Classic example of policybazaar.com, fear of making the wrong decision. Yeah, absolutely. That's your second, Laura, you're right. That's your second point that I spoke about. Your fear of making wrong decision, and then you don't want to face that consequence of making the wrong decision. So that happens, right? Third point that I'm talking about is, let's say if you want to buy an expensive house or expensive car. Like I said, one friend of mine, he was totally confused on what car he wanted to buy, and then he ended up buying nothing. That happens a lot, right? And what I've noticed is that the higher the perceived risk, the higher the chances that you are analyzing and overthinking. So, but I have also noticed that it's not just for the big things, it's for the small things as well. Like I said, ladies going for shopping, dress shopping, and getting confused. That is also a case of analysis paralysis. Right? Awesome. So I want to also elaborate on the impact of this, because I want you to understand what is the consequence. A lot of people don't understand the consequence of it. Now you've understood why it happened. Now I want you to understand the impact of it. I have noticed that the impact can vary anything from a low impact to a high impact. Getting confused in a dress shopping for a dress has a lower impact. But getting paralyzed when you're taking a bigger decision like career change, or maybe starting a business, a big impact. But whatever the impact may be, one thing that you have to understand is that you are spending your precious time in it. It is time-consuming process. It is taking your precious time where that time could have been used somewhere else, somewhere more productive. Do you agree or not? If you agree, please type agree. So that precious time that using can be used somewhere else, right? understand this very carefully. There is an opportunity cost for every decision. There is an opportunity cost for every decision you take or you don't take. Every decision, I'm going to repeat this again. There's an opportunity cost for every decision you take or you don't take. Not taking a decision is also a decision, and there is an opportunity cost to that. So you've got to think. You have to think carefully because of this. Now, not on analyzing is good, over analyzing is bad. Okay, and this can hamper your daily productivity. So I was just thinking, in this crisis situation that we're all living in, we have so much of fear and uncertainty that we're all dwelling in. People are losing their jobs. Businesses are unstable today. We're living in so much of uncertainty, and people are thinking, what do we do? Should I, do a career change? Should I start a business, take a leap of faith and start a business? Most of us are in survival mode today, And in this scenario, the fear of losing or the fear of failure is immense. Fear is immense. So this can paralyze you. This fear can paralyze you, this feeling. And what it's going to do is it's going to stop you from moving forward. And the impact of this is huge, right? People can lose jobs, family can break, relationships can get sour, businesses can close down. Like, imagine these business owners today, because there's so much of unpredictability today, uncertainty today. I've seen people around, they are panicking, they're fearing, they're complaining, they're overanalyzing the situation. They watch news from day till night, and they're like, COVID cases going up, COVID cases coming down, economy happening, this happening, that happening. So much of data processing that's not even useful in the first place. And what it leads to more fear. And then what fear does is paralyzes you again. So the actions that you've got to take actually in this crisis situation in order to build your business is not taken, because the focus is completely different. So I just wanted to highlight the impact of this, and I want each and every one of you to be able to overcome this particular feeling, this particular dilemma, I would say, right? Because this can really make or break your life. Awesome. All right, so let's get into how to overcome this, right? We're human tendency is how to get over this. Give me the strategies. So I'm happy to give you my strategy, and I'm super pleased to give you the strategies, because, and I'm going to say this with no kind of what would I say? I'm not like overconfident, or I'm not bragging or something, but I think I've been blessed with this superpower of making decisions quickly and not getting stuck in big decisions of life, thankfully. And this is not something that I was born with, this superpower or something. This is something that I have created or developed over my lifetime, by understanding who I am, what my values are, what I really want in life, what my belief systems are, what my goals are, and a lot of these things. So because of these clarity, I'm able to take my decisions quickly and not get stuck in that phase and waste time on it, right? So I'm going to give you 4 of my strategies. These are these strategies that I use myself. So this is something that I'm not, no guru or baba has told me this. This is something that I've practically used on myself, and I know it works. So I hope each one of you will be able to take it home with you today. And if you're stuck at any point, I hope it helps you. The first strategy to get unstuck if you're in this position of analysis paralysis is, number 1, get clarity on your goals and your life's vision. Super important. Get clarity. Know exactly, figure out what do you want in life. Who you are, what do you want in life. I think what would be really important is to define certain aspects, like what is your definition of success? Or what is your definition of happiness to you? Why is this important? Is because everyone's definition of success and happiness is different from each other. One person might say, oh, my definition of success is I want to have $1 million business and a jet plane. On the other person might say, I just want a stable job, but I want a beautiful family and have 5 kids. Their all definition of success is different. Happiness is different. So what happens is, when you're not clear with what you want in your life, What you're going to do is you're going to just keep looking outside. Oh, this neighbor is doing this. Oh, my friend has bought this expensive, beautiful car. He is successful. I am a loser. So you're going to copy, you're going to compare yourself with other people, and then you're going to get confused and paralyzed. And end of the day, you realize you don't even want that car. You know, you're not the kind of person who measures success by car. Like for me, for example, I don't measure success by any material wealth. Well, it's nice to have a material wealth, but I don't measure my success by that. So my definition of success is very, very different. My definition of success is how much do I contribute? How much lives have I impacted over my lifetime? So if I don't know what I want, I'm going to look at that person and feel sad for something that I did not even want in the first place. So it's important to have these definitions in place. Where do you see yourself 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line? What is the future vision of yourself? And in all areas of life, not just your career or business, but health, family, relationships, business, well, etc. So everything, look at everything, because what we're doing is today we're living in a stage of reaction. If something happens, we react on that. Everything, we are on a very reactive stage. We've got to switch on the reaction and start the planning. We've got to get clear, and you do planning when you get clear with what you want in your life. Get clarity. And that's, I've noticed one of the big difference between those people who make it in life, who are successful in life, and those people who don't make it in life. Big difference, because they don't have clarity in their goals and their life's vision. So that's number one thing you've got to work on. Number second, you've got to start planning your day. You have to prioritize your task, and you have to put timelines to it, deadlines to it, or timelines to it. Now, what does that mean? What do you mean by priority of task? We all have a million things to do in a day, right? Agreed? If you agreed, type agreed. Let me see if everyone's awake. We have a million things to do in a day, right? So how do we prioritize? One way that I like to prioritize is through the impact of that particular task. I like to gauge the impact. If that impact is going to last 6 months, 1 year, that means it's something of importance, right? So I've got to increase the importance level. Other things like online shopping, dress shopping, all of those things, what is the impact of it? Really, nothing really. So I deprioritize it, right? So I try to see it on the basis of the impact. And I would again advise you to do this activity not just in your work, but in your life, in your relationships, who you should be in relationship with, who you should not be in relationship with, in your friend circle, in your social circle. You've got to prioritize your life. You have to prioritize your goals, right? Now, if I talk to you in terms of productivity, because if you know me personally, I'm the person who is all about productivity. And let me give you an example of what I mean by prioritize. Very often I see, okay, let me put it this way. Let's say you want a new client, okay, for your work or your office or for your job or for your business. You want a new client. So what you do is you make a database and you do research on the potential clients, right, on one side, and then you start reaching out to the clients, right, or make sales calls. What I have noticed is most of the times people are doing a lot of research. They're doing a lot of work on databases and research and this and that. But when it comes to reaching out to those clients or making those sales calls and conversions, people do that less. Have you realized this? But I want to ask you this question: in these two scenarios of research and actually doing the sales calls, which is more important? I want you to type in the chat box, which one do you think is more important? Is it doing the research or is it doing the sales calls? So if you think research, write research. If you think sales calls, it's sales calls. On the basis of the priority, which one do you think is a higher priority in terms of importance? So you've got to understand one thing: the result, if you see, where does this result come from? In this process, the result comes from making sales calls, when you do sales pitches, when you do conversions. That's how you get clients, right? Exactly, yes. Then say you're absolutely right, sales calls. Ajit, yeah, absolutely right, sales calls. But what people tend to do is, and we tend to do this in our life, we keep ourselves busy. doing research, doing analysis, doing everything is you're keeping yourself busy. That's motion. Your motion, you're doing something, your whole day, you're tired, you're exhausted, you feel like you've done something, but end of the day, the result is zero. Because the result does not come from motion, it comes from action. So action brings results. So you've got to focus on things. That's how you prioritize. You've got to prioritize the things that brings you results and not just motion. Awesome. I hope that makes sense to you. The third thing that I want to highlight is, which is very, very important, you have to let go of the perfection mindset. Believe it or not, perfection has a negative correlation to action again. Perfection, I had done this, the first live video on procrastination. I don't know how many of you watched it, procrastination. And I spoke about fears that stop you from, that makes you procrastinate, right? If fears is a mother of procrastination, perfection is the father of procrastination. So you have to let go of this procrastination. It's the biggest hindrance to success. You have to understand one thing, that there is nothing perfect in life, really. And if you're looking for something better to come, again, something better to create, this will keep happening. There will never be a point in your life where you will feel, oh, this is it. Oh, I made it. Oh, this is the thing that I was waiting for my whole entire life. That's not going to happen. All that's going to happen is overthinking, overanalyzing, confusion, paralysis, and then you end up not moving anywhere and you sit down in that same exact spot. So I want to use this phrase, and the phrase of, for me, overthinking is like a rocking chair. You understand what a rocking chair is? On a chair, you keep moving like this, right? Overthinking is a rocking chair. It keeps you moving, but it gets you nowhere. So this is how I believe in. And what gives you results is the right action. Not motion, action. So you've got to identify what is motion, what is action. I hope this makes sense. And awesome. All right. And the fourth thing that I want to highlight today is, the fourth strategy that I use is make decision, take action, adjust, and evolve. A lot of times we think that once we make a decision, we can't adjust and evolve. It's like a mark on the rock that you can't erase. That's not true. That's absolutely not true. You can always evolve. You can always change your direction or alter your direction or evolve around the way. So don't be afraid of taking that first step just because you think it's not good enough. All you need is a good option. It doesn't need to be perfect. Any entrepreneurs here? Let me see. Any entrepreneurs any business owners in the live today? This is one of the, I'm sure you will understand, this is one of the most important quality of an entrepreneur. As a business owner, you've got to do this. Because if you don't do this, if you're in business decisions, if you're stuck on one little thing, and you're not taking the decision, what kind of opportunity cost you're going to have? How much money you might end up losing? Big time. And I personally, if I see in my own life, the reason why I'm standing here, or rather sitting here and talking to you is because of these 4 steps that I took in my life. And I have moved my career from a education industry to media to travel and tourism to e-commerce, network marketing to coaching. And that has only happened because I had the courage to really move past my fears and my limitations. So, my friends, I just want to end by saying this, that there is nothing right or wrong in life. Don't be so afraid of thinking that's wrong or this is decisions. No decision is right or wrong. What I believe in is just take a decision and you work towards it in making it right. And in that process, you can evolve, you can change. And even if you hit a roadblock in it, turn around, get another path. But it's not the end of the world. So stop thinking like it's the end of the world. So I want to remind you again that as a free service to people, I offer a discovery session. What this discovery session does is we can analyze where you are standing today and how you can level up in your life, and what are the different strategies that you can use. I also offer one-to-one coaching programs and group coaching programs for individuals like you who want to build their potential, want to level up in their life, want to take action towards their dreams, goals, get clarity in their dreams and goals. Coaching is super powerful. I'm so grateful that I have had the opportunity to get coached by so many people, and I want to offer that service to you as well. Please remember my website, seldentenzing.com. Feel free to check it out. More information about me online there. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on social media. Send me an email, whatever you like. Awesome. Thank you so much for watching. And if you think this is of value, please feel free to share this video. I don't know, I'm sure many people are going through this particular situation, especially in the crisis like this. We need to help. We need to really stretch ourselves and reach out to more people, contribute to more people. My last session was on contribution. So please do not hesitate of sharing this if you think it's of value. Thank you so much for joining in. I appreciate. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. I love you all. I believe in you. And if nobody has said this, let me tell you that I believe that you can achieve whatever you set your mind to. Thank you. Bye.